Shutout tonight. The Gators of Florida playing host to Tennessee. And the Volunteers living up to their preseason billing as one of the best in the conference. They're doing it with a team effort on both ends of the floor. Yves Pons has been in the middle of both. You just saw him. Their offense is as balanced as you're going to find in the country. 7 players with an average of 7.5 points per game. We don't have a 30-point score, and they've never allowed a guy to score 20 against them. Their defense is allowing less than 60 per game. Pons is a blocking machine, as you see there. That is top 3 in Division I as far as points allowed go. This is the SEC on ESPN. It's Gainesville, Florida, where the Volunteers try to keep rolling against the Florida team, trying to get off that 3-3 mark in conference as Tennessee looks up at Alabama. Alabama, big test tonight against LSU. Welcome, everyone. I'm Carl Ravitch. Happy to be joined by my good buddy, Dick Vitale, who's warming us all up with that mint green polo. We love that. Boy, I tell you what, Dickie V, Florida's going to have to warm up tonight to score some points against this defense.
Well, you're talking about Tennessee. You mentioned third in the nation right now, only giving up 57.2 points a game is amazing. They play suffocating defense. They got great pride defensively. And Florida, to have a chance to win, has got to score at least 70. And I'll tell you this right now, to get 70 is going to be tough. But remember this, they beat January last year. They won a game against number 4 in the nation. And that's the last time they beat a ranked team. They beat Auburn. And Omar Payne, who's starting tonight, had 19 and 11 that game. Can he duplicate that kind of performance? It's going to be needed by the Gators.
They're going to need a lot of guys to step up because they're missing a lot of guys. There's no Scotty Lewis. We all know what happened to Keontae Johnson when he had that scary incident to start the season, collapsing on the floor. He's back with the team but not playing, and they're without Colin Castleton in the middle. So you look at Appleby, Locke, Mann, DeRucci, and Payne as their starting 5. Nice backdoor move there right behind the great defense we talked about from Tennessee, Keon Johnson, and we're tied at 2 early.
Nice little backdoor cut. Got the defense staring at the basketball. They get one right back. Oh, yes, good defensive play.
Trey Mann with the block. Florida usually likes to slow it down. They are going small, obviously, without the guys we talked about. No Keontae, no Castleton, who's really been their best scorer. But Appleby launches a 3. That one is too deep, and Tennessee had 2 guys go for it and out of bounds off the balls.
You know, there's a look at Castleton right there, turned his ankle. He's been one of the top 20 shot blockers in America as well. Transfer, came over from Michigan. He's had some great moments here with Florida. They say he's improving on a regular basis. He is going to be missed on the interior by Mike White.
14 block shots his last 2 games. 8 against Ole Miss, 6 against Mississippi State. And Fulkerson gets tied up by Omar Payne. You remember a big game for Omar Payne. He's capable of putting up some big numbers.
Yeah, he had 19 and 11 against Auburn. That Auburn team was outstanding as well. So he's capable. He's going to have a special game. I think for the Gators to have any chance at all today, the 3 ball has to be big, Carl. They're going to have to make the 3. Locke, you got guys like Mann, Appleby. They're going to have to knock down the trifecta. If that doesn't happen, it can be a long night for the Gators.
Fulkerson picked up a foul, so John Fulkerson goes to the bench, and Kumwa is now in. He wears 13. Mike White said today, look, they bring people off the bench. All of them play great defense. That one rattles in and out. Vescovi with a rebound for Tennessee.
They take pride in their defense. They really do. Rick Barnes, all his career, has done that wherever he's been. In the Big East, he was there at Providence. He did it at George Mason. Did it at Clemson. Did it at Texas. He's doing it here. Here's the big guy sitting on a pine. He says, I don't want to be an assistant coach. I want to be playing. Don't foul and you'll be playing.
So Olivier Kumwa into the game. Pons not really a threat from three-point land. If you're looking at a guy at the next level, he'll get there with his defense and hopefully improve shooting. He is as athletic as anyone in the country, and he makes a mistake there and turns it over.
You know, he's a better shooter than the numbers show. 15% from the 3. Last year he shot the ball better.
Runner for Trey Mann. He's got all 4 tonight.
Good double team right there. Little sloppy defense right now early in this game by Tennessee. Some open looks for the Gators.
Josiah Jordan-James keeps getting better and better. Vescovi got caught in the air. He gets it to Kumwa. He misses, and an aggressive rebound by Anthony DeRucci.
Santiago Vescovi's been a great addition to this team. Came there in the middle of the year last year, and he's been a solid leader, understands how to play.
DeRuggi turned it over, palmed it right in front of Pons. One thing Tennessee will do is force a whole bunch of turnovers, and Rick Barnes runs the same offense and has forever, and he's now got himself surrounded by fantastic defensive players. A win tonight moves him up, Dickey, on the all-time wins list.
Goes against past Fog Allen, past Don Haskins. Don Haskins had that brilliant career at Texas El Paso. You talk about defense, unreal, won that national championship. And he started 5 African Americans, did a movie on it when he beat that great Kentucky team. Pat Riley was on that team.
Pons in the paint. Fade away, no good. Offensive rebound by James, and that ball is picked. Appleby alone lays it up and in. A little more aggressive Florida defense tonight, being 6'2".
Nice little play right there by Appleby. Transferred from out of Cleveland State. He's had some good games in that Gator uniform.
Let's go to 20 against Mississippi State.
You want some defense? You can see some defense right here. You're going to see Mr. Appleby says, hey, we can play defense too. The Gators, we play some D, and there he is with the conversion and the score. Gators playing hard right now early in this game, up by 4.
It's an Appleby turnover, like an apple turnover. I thought you were all over that.
I love apple turnovers, man. I love it, Carl. I don't like the cholesterol, but I like the apple turnover. I don't like the sugar.
Niles Lane into the game for the Gators. Fulkerson thought about it, and that's a shot clock violation. This is a much more active defense tonight for Florida to start the game.
Well, I think they're playing with it where they know right now they're playing really very hard because they understand. Obviously, look at Mike White here, 6th season in Florida. But you understand the fact that we're playing so shorthanded. And we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be humiliated. The only way we're going to have a chance is we've got to really step up big time, every guy.
Great man, reverse, that's too much. He had it, and he kind of threw it up with that right hand instead of taking his time there. It'll stay Florida ball. E.J. Anasicki on the floor now for the Volunteers.
You know, the last game they lost to Mississippi State, Florida have lost 3 of the last 4. They got hurt on the interior by the size of Mississippi State. They were hurt especially by Tulo Smith. He had 27 and 14. Carl, looking at that, you would think then that Fulkerson and Pons should have big games tonight against the Gators.
You would feel that way with Castleton again, if you're just joining us, on the bench with an ankle. Scotty Lewis is in COVID protocol. The alley-oop, that's missed by Payne. He went up with one hand. And he's missed a couple of layups. Mann had a chance, and Payne had a chance. A whistle on the floor.
Payne says, my fault, should have been down.
Shot clock that they addressed, and now it's at 18 seconds.
Too much dribble. You got to pass the ball. Too much dribble, man. Too much dribble. Give it up. Come without the ball. You got to learn to move without the ball.
Vescovi thought about the 3, and that effort rings in and out from Victor Bailey, the junior out of Austin, Texas. Mann runs right into Vescovi. We're going to call a charge, even though the ball went through the bucket. Good start for the Gators, with all those guys out, leading Tennessee, 6th-ranked team in the country, early. That tonight, Dickey, with their defense. They're also a +5 on the glass early, which is something Mike White told me earlier. What do you make of the start at 5-1 and since 1-3?
Well, you look at the 5-1 start, you got to look at who they played too. I don't want to take anything away from teams like Stetson, Boston College, and Army. That changes when you get in conference play. So it's a whole different story. But they've really been playing hurt. I mean, you can't emphasize what a loss Keontae Johnson. I mean, you're talking about a special player. How special he was picked to be by all the coaches, the player of the year in the conference. I mean, that guy's worth 20 points a game. And let's just hope that most of all, his health comes back as strong and better than ever.
Certainly hope he comes back. Scotty Lewis was averaging 11 points a game. You missed some toughness out there. Vescovi's 3, that finds the bottom of the net.
Now Vescovi can shoot the 3. He can. make that three. He can handle the ball well. He's a good leader on the court, guards people. So far, I've really been surprised. Florida's been getting some pretty good shots.
Uzensev had that shot blocked, but Florida had a three, but Tennessee does what it does best, block the shot in the corner, and now looking for the lead. 3-2 strong. Masicki picks up the rebound. Vescovi fires another three. That's off. And from his backside, that shot blocked by DeRuggi. The rebound went to James.
Nice play by DeRuggi.
Wes Glover on the other end, Dickie V. He draws the foul.
Wes Glover in transition right there. Taking the ball to the goal. A little spin in the lane. Gets fouled. Draws body contact.
Well, Dickie V, the Duke Blue Devils, the Kentucky Wildcats, some of the Blue Bloods struggling. You get a chance to see if Duke and Coach K can kind of figure things out. They get Pittsburgh tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive, will continue after our game. Glover's free throw misses.
And Jeff Cable goes against his former guy, Mr. Cable, on the sideline. They got back now. Champagne, he was a terrific player. Right here, unranked. That's unbelievable. I was going to talk about first time since 1961. At that time, they ranked only top 10 teams. So really, since they went to the top 25, that's the first time that's happened. Kentucky, Duke, and Carolina. And what else do they have in common, those three? Those three, according to Paul Biancardi, in our ratings guru on a scholastic level, were 1, 2, 3 in the nation in recruiting. So it just shows you, to me, you better have some veteran players. It's not just about the kids, unless their names are Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson.
After the block on the other end from Jitobo, Glover hits a two. That looked like it was going to end up with an alley-oop for Tennessee, and it was another block for the Gators. Let's go back to your point there, Dickie V, with Biancardi and his rankings. Regardless of the great players they have, why do you think that collectively those three teams have struggled out of the gate?
Well, I think you got to have veteran players. You got to have veterans that step up. When you look at, surprised me a little bit North Carolina because they have a couple of veterans there.
Yep.
Certainly Brooks, who was picked preseason player of the year, starting to play a little better right now. Baycott gives him a veteran on the interior. Problem with them is inconsistency on the perimeter. And in college basketball, if you're not strong in the perimeter, you really are going to struggle.
Well, a couple of other Gators now getting a chance to play, and they are turning over the Volunteers. Ball loose on the floor. Fulkerson picks it up. They're going to say he went backcourt with it, and it's going to be Florida basketball.
Mike Stevens did a little dance right there. Dancing with the Stars may be calling him out. He did a little dance right there, showing how I like this little footwork. Almost like yours, Ravi. It's your birthday. Dance for us, big fella. 56 years old. I only got you by a quarter of a century.
25 years. Gosh, if I could ever have your energy in 5 years. Forget 25, but thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I know one thing. When you get to my age, I'm not going to be here to celebrate with you. Unless you got a miracle in the scoop.
Come on, man. 25 years from now, you'll still be calling basketball games for us. Who are you kidding?
I'm at Hoop 7.
You said 100 years old you wanted to do a game.
I do. Oh, look, double team. Look, good ball movement. Really good ball movement. The guy's got to make shots. He's a great three-point shooter. His lock. His mom and dad can shoot the ball, too, when they play at Compton State.
He ran into the corner, didn't get it. They got 5 on the shot clock. Glover, DeRuggi's open. Nice play as he went right by Fulkerson. And Florida looks really good early.
Nice pass right there, Carl, by Glover. Found the open guy. DeRuggi, a transfer coming out of Louisiana Tech. That's where Mike White coached before he came here. You know, Mike's taken 3 years in a row to the NCAA tournament, but when you're following a guy like Billy Donovan, it never seems enough. Great pass right here by Glover. Good bounce pass, good explosion to the basket by DeRuggi. He's an elite athlete. He can really rise. They're
Florida
playing hard
shooting
right now early in this game.
They are. Yeah, they're shooting 45%. They made 5 of 11. Tennessee has been pestered by Florida, 2 of 11 from the floor.
They do have one big win, but they had their full cast other than Keontae. They beat LSU, and LSU can really score. They got a tremendous offensive team. I love the kid, Cameron Thomas. He's as special as can be.
He's not Chris Jackson, but boy, he can score. He's got a terrific jump shot. And that's a big game on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock tonight. Alabama leading the conference against LSU with 1 loss.
Alabama really playing well, even with the injuries. But now they got Herb Jones, played the last game. Bruner's still out.
but expected to get Bruner back. Jones may be the player of the year in the conference, probably is right now. Keon Johnson working with James.
I'm really impressed early with the defensive Florida. They're really challenging them on shots.
Have to be. Bailey, long three, no good. That's the Fulkerson, and he ends up with an easy layup.
That's Fulkerson working on the inside. He should come back to school next year because he gets the extra year and work on his range as a shooter, because to go to the next level, nice drive for the goal. He's got to be able to make that perimeter shot. They want their big guys to step out, and right now that's not one of his strengths.
Pressure there. Glover, do we get a tie-up with Bailey? We did. Florida has possession on the arrow, and they have been outstanding early tonight.
And that's why I don't like the rule. Here you are penalizing the fouls. Tennessee making a great defensive play because of some arrow. Look at the defense right there. And what does he get for it? The Gators get the ball.
But in this case, it was the Gator defense.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. Give me a turnover there.
Apple turnover against Vital.
But no, I don't like the rule. Many times we see the defense get penalized.
Right. DeRuggi in the lane, tough to get it over Pons. He did, but too strong off the iron.
I tell you, Carl, the effort we're seeing here is a heck of a lot better than the effort we saw against Kentucky. Kentucky really took them to the shed.
Fulkerson, that's a big body. Jitobo. They'll move it around, and Bailey one more kick to Pons. 3 on the shot clock. Bailey launches way outside, and that's short. More good defense from Florida. Did they get DeRuggi, though? And that may be 3 shots for Bailey. That's a mistake from Anthony DeRuggi.
Yeah, really run into a three-point shooter. He's a pretty good shooter, too, Bailey. Last game made a few threes. Came from Oregon.
End of the shot clock, though, from 30-some-odd feet away. That's a mistake for DeRuggi, and they had that ball.
Rick was telling me on the phone he got to know the Bailey family well because his mother was coach over at Texas, and they got to know each other there, but he went to Oregon and then decided to transfer, and Mr. Barnes is the beneficiary to get him.
Bailey's mom, Tanji, you're referring to, the assistant track coach at Texas when Barnes was the basketball coach there.
He's got a player coming in next year, man. He was on ESPN just recently. You talk about a terrific talent. They got a superstar coming in. Kid named Kennedy, unbelievable. Everybody raves about him.
So Bailey unable to take advantage of it. He's a good free throw shooter as well. Glover working hard in the lane, has to start over again.
The screen.
Block, that's a block for Pons. He's outstanding. 16 blocks for Yves Pons in 5 SEC games. The ESPN College Basketball presentation presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Pounds. That's Friday and Saturday's big lineup. Those are the big headlines of what is a big lineup. Florida shooting 43% from the floor. Tennessee at 23%. There's a setup for 3. Mike White's team does a really good job off of inbounds plays, but that one, an air ball.
Still an air ball in that scenario. You know, you got Mike White right now, and you talk about certainly Tennessee's defense. We talked about how they're number 3 right now in the nation, giving up only 57 points a game. And one of the architects, like a defensive coordinator, is Coach Schwartz, their fine assistant coach. He played for Rick over at Texas. Texas was a transfer from Sonoma State, and he's after them defensively on a regular basis.
It is just beaten into them with regards to the amount of time they spend out in practice. Yves Pons with a rare 2-point shot from outside the paint, rattles it home.
That's where he's right there. Coach Schwartz sees the same barber I do, but I'll tell you one thing, he knows his defense. They call it the BD dig. Unbelievable. Ball hawking Doberman defense. The ball hawking Doberman defense.
Omar Payne in traffic. He hawked that ball in and then off the window, 15-10.
They're going to need a big game out of Payne on the interior to offset the inside game of Tennessee with Fulkerson and Pons. And he's capable of doing it. He had 19-11. I said last time they beat a ranked team, number 4 in the nation, the Auburn Tigers last year, January 18th, 2020.
Wide open. Walk on Vescovi. They didn't get it. Fulkerson kicks to Pons. He launches a 3, and Eve Pons with back-to-back field goals.
Tell you, Pons looks pretty good stroking the ball right there. You wouldn't think he's a 15% shooter. It's like Coach Schwartz. He really worked on that sideline. Rick Barnes gives him so much credit. When I spoke to Rick just sang his praises. Oh, he's going to be upset there. There's no Doberman defense right there. There's no ball hawking right there, Carl. None whatsoever. Open.
That was a breakdown and a heck of a pass from Trey Mann to Payne. Vescovi, high arcing 3, gets air, and that's all. It's out of bounds off of Florida. So we're watching Yves Pons, who's got 5 points. He may be the most interesting man, not only in the conference, but in the country. His mom was one of the famous French dancers, taught Yves how to do dance. He then learned judo, said all those things contributed to his balance and his ability to jump high. He is a famous photographer. You can follow him on Instagram. He also has learned to play the saxophone. He learned languages. He was born in Haiti, and because of the situation he was born in, as he just missed that one, he was put up for adoption. His folks, ultimately, what became his folks from France, adopted him and brought him there. He subsequently came, of course, to Tennessee and realized, it takes about 6 months to learn a new language. He'd already done it. It took him about 6 months to learn English. And as Rick Barnes told me today, there has never been anybody in his program, any program, that's worked harder at basketball than Yves Pons. He's made himself a really good basketball player.
Great story right there. His versatility, I'm really impressed. Oh, there's my defensive dynamos right there. Pons right there. Garrett down to Kansas. Vital. Baylor, man. Their team is the best defensive. I love Harper Jr. His dad played with the Bulls. He's at Rutgers. Gilliard leads the nation in steals, and Mobley blocks shots like crazy at Southern Cal. He's a diaper daddy. Those guys make things happen defensively.
Well, the thing with Barnes' teams, Dick, and you know this, you know what you're going to get. If you're looking for that high-flying, run up and down the floor, you're not going to get it. But if you recognize this is a team built on defense, there's a foul there on James. That's what you get with Barnes. It doesn't look sometimes as appealing offensively as watching LSU or Alabama or Kentucky, but he wins, man.
Yeah, he wins, and also, he adjusts the personnel. He certainly played a little bit more offensive efficiency. He was at Texas, but he had some of the great players that played for him at Texas. Guy that's not too bad. A guy by the name of Durant. He was pretty good.
But Tucker was a defensive whiz and continues to do that at the NBA level.
Well, you think about T.J. Ford. I'm thinking of memory lane. I'm going to LaMarcus Aldridge. Sure. You think about Daniel Gibson. You think about D.J. Augustine. I mean, Avery Bradley, Tristan Thompson, defensive-minded, Jordan Hamilton, Corey Joseph, Miles Turner. I mean, think about players that he had. And he was hurt as well as much as anyone would rather in terms of kids leaving early because of the NBA and their talents.
Gators up 18-13, playing really well. Gaines into the game for Tennessee. The ball down low to James. There's some traffic at the rim. Can't get it to go. Second chance. Gaines gets fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line.
He's a good young player, and so is the kid Springer, who is out right now. But his dad was a great player. Springer played at, his dad Gary played over at Iona, was a superstar for Pat Kennedy, recruited by both Pat and Jimmy V. The year before, Jimmy went to North Carolina State and then became the legend when he won that national title. And certainly, '83 was amazing.
Subdivision reporter number 41, Lane, and for Tennessee.
Niles Lane into the game for the Gators.
I gave you a list before of guys that played at Texas. Unbelievable what he had there when you think about it. Sometimes a change is good for everybody. I know at the time probably didn't feel that way, but really coming to Tennessee has been a change of life for him after he had great success in Texas. But sometimes, people get a little hungry. They want instant gratification every year.
Noah Locke, that's off. Payne had it. Easy Florida pickup there as Vescovi went flying underneath the basket.
They got to get a lot going. Wow, he's a terrific three-point shooter. One of the best in the history of the school. Had a great year last year shooting the three.
Another offensive rebound. They're making a living at what Tennessee makes a living at. There's your guy, Locke.
Yeah, you can't let him square up and get a second opportunity. He's got a great release, touch. They say his dad shot it really well when he played at Coppin State. Mom as well.
Florida Gators are out-rebounding the Tennessee Volunteers on the offensive glass. Vescovi wide open. That's usually automatic. And slow to get up for the Florida Gators is Tyree Appleby. Under 8, Noah Locke just knocked down a 3.
What's happened early in this game, Carl, it's very obvious to me right here. You got a team, Florida, playing really hungry because they realize how short-handed they are. On the other side, you're looking at Tennessee, and they brought in red. You know, Castleton's out, no Keontae Johnson, no Scotty Lewis, and you start thinking mentally, it affects you psychologically. Right now, they're going to get a little wake-up call. They got to start stepping it up and elevating their game and show why they're number 6 in the nation.
Contested shot at the rim. They've done that all night long, and that is Gator basketball. Good effort at the rim. Good effort so far. Jose Osifo gets into the act, number 15 for Florida. Boy, have they been aggressive. Out-rebounding them on the glass, and Noah Locke banks the 3. SEC on ESPN. It's the Gators, 23-14. The individuals finding their voice. It certainly happened to Scotty Lewis. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. People before players, Black Lives Matter, education reform. Hashtag take when they take. We are in this together. He had appeared at a variety of peaceful protests. And as he watched what unfolded across the country and across the globe, realized I have a platform, I have a voice, and I want to make it heard.
And he does a great job. Everybody sings his praises. He does a very peaceful fashion, cares about others, and we need us. You heard on that piece that we did, you need more love in our nation. People love one another. Get rid of the hate. We got to unite. We got to all love. Just treat people like you want to be treated, and we'd be a heck of a lot better place.
Noah Locke double-teamed in the corner, throws it inside. Good pass, good hands. How about that catch? Jose Osifo lays it in.
See, guys like Osifo are going to get a chance to get some PT playing time, and now you got to take advantage of that opportunity. When you get that chance, that opportunity, you got to take advantage of it.
Dick, usually this time of year in the schedule, you know, you are reducing your numbers of players to about 8. Both teams tonight have each used 10 players.
Unbelievable. They go to the bench, no doubt about it. Nice play on the interior. That's in traffic. They had poise. He took his time to release the shot. Watch him working on the interior. You know, Florida's doing a heck of a job on the inside. That really surprises me because they were dominated in the interior against Mississippi State. You know, Ben Holland's basketball team could have created some problems. They got size. They're getting better and better.
They're out-rebounding them 20-11, and they're outscoring them in the paint 14-2. Tennessee misses another 3. Each team struggling from 3. Tennessee is now 2 of 10. Florida 1 of 7.
Trying to use that ball screen up on top. Florida did a great job defending it. Wide open here. You got to make it.
Bailey misses, and Asicki grabbed that rebound. There's going to be a foul on the floor. Determined look for Asicki.
Asicki went strong for that basket. But I'm telling you what, the Florida Gators are fired up. They really are playing with pride. You know what happens a lot of times? You get a situation, upsets happen, when the 5-star player plays like a 3 for 40 minutes and the 3-star player plays like a 5. And that happens, and some guys try to turn it on and off, and you can't do that.
You hear the public address announcer say the previous play is under review. The Gators have 6 fouls. Tennessee in the bonus. They've committed 5 fouls.
You know, Mike White, we talked about earlier, Carl, he follows Billy Donovan. I mean, come on, 2 national championships, a legend at the school. But, you know, Mike's had 7 straight. People don't realize this. He's had 7 straight 21 seasons. 3 at Louisiana Tech, 4 at Florida. And the last year he won 19 in a shortened season. He's had 3 consecutive NCAA berths, would have 4. And this year, really a tough blow when they lost Keontae. I mean, you're not like, Like, we're not talking about an average player. We're talking about somebody special, worth like about 15 to 20 points in your lineup.
So they reviewed it. Just a common foul on the floor. You can see NcaaAF, who's got so much size against Noah Locke, and is able to get it. You're right. I'm just wondering, Dickie, in the conference, you know, we saw Tennessee fire its football coach, and that didn't have to do with performance, but it had to do with some recruiting violations. The point is, Alabama's in the SEC football. They just fired Gus Malzahn. In the basketball world, it had been, you know, the template is Kentucky. For Mike White, you know, what is the bar for success for somebody who's constantly dealing with the Kentuckys of the world?
Yeah, the bottom line is you go to the NCAA tournament every year. I think that's pretty solid. And most of all, you want to know something else? What about morals? What about attitude? What about family guy? What about a guy that's great for kids? He's terrific. Comes from a great family. His dad just, for example, he just retired at Duke University as one of the great ADs in all of sports. And his brothers are ADs down there in Florida Atlantic and also in Central Florida. Comes from a great family. I look at a guy like him and I say, I want him around young people. And, you know, he's not going to win 28, 29 games every year. I mean, come on now. You win your constant 20 every year. You're in the NCAA tournament every year. I think that's a pretty good barometer. And I know one thing, his AD really loves him. And you know what else he's got? He's got 4 years left on a contract after this year. He's going to have your kind of cash, baby.
Right. Or Malzahn, who walked away with $20 million, right, when he got fired. No, I hear you, and you're right, though. You can't undersell the value of Keontae Johnson. Florida was picked by many to win the conference this year. Tennessee and Florida, when this conference season began, if he's healthy, Lewis plays. You got this bench, which we're seeing tonight, play better. They were in the conference championship conversation.
Nice little play right there. Wide open little jump shot. Nobody contesting players. I mean, giving them open looks.
We're going to call a foul on the Jitobo. I asked Coach White earlier, too, like, do you start to think about, you know, bubble? And since we fired Joe Lenardi in bracketology out there, everybody reads it, the kids see it. Do you start to think about that? And he said, I actually, you know, I go the other way. I go football mentality. Who we playing on this Saturday? Who we playing tonight? I can't look at the LSUs or the Alabamas of the world and worry about it. This has the potential, though, to be a huge win for them. Thursday Showcase, women's basketball. We back Pat. What an appropriate game. The rivalry is renewed between the UConn Huskies and the Lady Volunteers.
Tell you one thing, you mentioned the greatest coaches of all time in terms of, you know, our active coaches, the best active coaches. I did a whole thing on that, and I just stuck since I'm involved in men's basketball in the men's game. But Gino Auriemma, if you talk about of any sport and of any male, female, he's got to be in that list for what he's achieved at Connecticut.
Double dribble on Florida without question.
Tennessee basketball.
Let's see. UConn women are playing tonight and leading currently 52-21, which would move him ahead of Pat Summitt on the all-time list. Tara Vanderveer, of course, with 11:05.
What a job she's done on Stanford. It's amazing. When you get over 1,000 wins, I mean, it's another world. That's another world.
Tennessee Volunteers have not had a field goal since Eve Pond's 3 at the 10:25 mark.
They need a spurt. They have not had a spurt.
That could help. Rattles in. That may help. Josiah Jordan-James knocked that in. It's a 7-point lead. 5 minutes to go for the Florida Gators. Playing undermanned tonight. No Colin Castleton, their big fella. No Keontae Johnson. No Scotty Lewis. And they have taken it to Tennessee.
I see Tennessee with a little better effort defensively, but they're getting a good job beating them on the glass.
Sure are, that offensive glass, no doubt. Quez Glover stepped into a 3 uncontested. Another offensive rebound. And now Locke fires a 3. That was blocked. And Tennessee's going to come away with it. They continue to pile up offensive rebounds.
3 opportunities. 3 opportunities right there. I see a little run out of the Vols. I do. I see them on a little run here before you go into halftime.
Vescovi on the bench. Bailey's had some big numbers when it comes to three-point shooting. Here he goes into the corner, and the tough shot goes over the backboard and out of bounds. He was drifting on that shot, and Bailey looking for his first field goal of the game.
He didn't square his body at all on that shot. Look at Rick Barnes, done a great job everywhere he's been. Whether you started George Mason, Providence, the Friars, knew he had to play real tough in that era down there in the Big East. And then you talk about what he did at Clemson. Larry Shyatt was his assistant, man. They came after you big time. It's the only way they could survive. Played in the great times there with Dean Smith, Mike Krzyzewski's teams. And then in Texas, did one heck of a job in Texas. And I really believe, like I said earlier, he was hurt so much by guys leaving early because they were so talented. Couldn't blame some of them for the mega dollars.
Ball out of bounds. It'll stay Gators. The leading scorer for Tennessee on the season is Victor Bailey. One of the reasons they're losing, Victor Bailey doesn't have a point. He's 0 for 7 from the floor.
5 matchups and highlights coming your way. How will Michigan respond coming off their first loss? What's Tennessee doing right now in Gainesville?
Yeah, at times their offense just gets stuck. I'd like to see them play a little faster, Seth, and allow their athletes like a Jaden Springer to get out in transition and get some easy ones.
Coach Vitale, you were talking about upperclassmen and underclassmen. I want to tell you something. The underclassmen, those freshmen are only as good as the quality upperclassmen and the experienced players they're playing with. This year, this freshman class, talented, but the only way they're going to win is if they have solid veterans to play with.
Well, thank you, Seth. You repeat everything I said. I appreciate it. Wow, thanks for taking care of me. Seth was one of the first guys. I went to his house on a recruiting trip to recruit his brother, and he was a young guy. That's a true story. Seth can tell people this story. I had my wife outside in the car. He said, you can't leave your wife outside. His mother said she was outside waiting for me. I was at Rutgers.
You left Lorraine in the car?
Well, I thought it was going to be there 2 minutes. Oh, nice little play. Nice cut without the ball. There's no question. Unless you're talking about diaper dandies, we mentioned Durant. We mentioned guys like Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis. That's a whole different breed. I mean, they can take guys like me and you and Seth Greenberg. Notice I didn't say take LaFonso. Oh, nice
look there to Omar Payne. What a pass.
Well, you know what's amazing? What a pass. But that's not the defense that has you third in the nation, Carl, where you're playing unbelievable. Number one, by the way, is one of our former colleagues. UAB, Andy Kennedy went to coach, and he's got UAB playing great basketball, and they're number one in the nation in terms of defense and scoring defense. Nice play right there by Vols.
Yes, Anasicki lays it up and in. Tennessee's offense clicking a little bit.
Well, good passing of the interior right there, sharing the ball with one another. Anasicki was the beneficiary.
Boy, easy layup, and it's missed. It looked for a second like the footing was lost.
Well, he hurt himself right there. He hurt himself right there with the angle he went on, Carl, to the basket. He had himself an easy layup. He was squared his body like UB Brown used to teach at the 5-star Howard Garfinkel camp. Square that body, baby. Take it on that baseline drive. The Vols are getting closer and closer.
Bailey Fulkerson threw that up. I think that was almost an attempted pass there to Anasicki, and he got caught, so he threw it off the rim. Bounce pass, Lane lost it again. Uzentsev, basket counts, and the foul.
Nice drive right there. Went up strong to the basket. They're attacking right now.
Florida foul charge number 2, Samson Uzentsev.
Boy, that look, Dick, I thought he had called that a basket. Instead, he calls it a charge. So Uzentsev and Florida, he did. I thought he was punching that basket in, but instead he pointed the other way. It was a charge.
You look at the replay, it was a charge. There was no doubt about it. Uzentsev really went in strong, though. He really went to the basket tough. But you look at the replay, and you can see his body was squared. Good job taking the charge right there by Tennessee.
Dick, no Jaden Springer tonight. He turned an ankle too, and right now Santiago Vescovi is having his hip worked on. Blocked at the rim there by Omar Payne. So 2 key players for Tennessee not currently available. Springer won't play, and there you see Vescovi grabbing that left hip of his.
He's been working on that for the last 5-6 minutes there with the trainer.
Appleby 3, bottom.
Well, we talked about it earlier, Carl. For them to have a chance to win, guys like Appleby and Mann and Locke can make some threes. Appleby delivered right there.
There's the basket and a foul, and a hard shot from Bailey as he gets his first field goal of the game.
Yeah, now 1 for 8, but that was a nice drive by Bailey. He's been shooting nothing but the jump shot, but that time he attacked the rim. Very aggressive. I mean, he's right there going to the basket, nice and strong, fading away, lays it on the glass. Initial move was very strong, get that first step.
I did not see a foul on that play. He faded away from everybody and seemed to avoid contact. But he goes to the line. Nas Lane comes back in for the Gators. He'll take Usai Osifo out.
That's some of the things, obviously, you and I miss. I mean, you working in your place, I'm working here in my home. You're not sitting at courtside. It's a whole different ball game when you're sitting right there, the angles, the players. I mean, it's tough, picking up numbers. People at home, I hope they're patient to understand. It's not easy, man.
When have the people at home not been patient? Come on. Alley-oop. Oh,
what a great play.
Appleby to Payne.
Appleby to Payne. And Mr. Payne says, hey, remember this. About a year ago, I sparked our team, and we beat the number 4 team in the nation. I had 19 and 11, and I want to spark us today against the number 6 team in America. Going after the basket, really hard in terms of rebounding.
Niles Lane, tough shot, but it goes. And this has been Florida's first half, up 36-27. Niles Lane.
But guys really all stepping up, Corral. I mean, they got everybody stepping. Niles Lane got into the act.
It's pretty.
Yeah, really nice pass right. Look at the catch and the jam by Payne. These guys got some real good ability. He's been very inconsistent. He gets some consistency to his game. They get cast in the back. They can beat some people. Certainly Scotty Lewis, a very good player. He's got a medical problem, a little illness.
Tell you what, too, Dickie, they're doing this without Trey Mann, who's got 2 fouls. He's played only 6 minutes here in the first half. And an awfully impressive, I think, given the body of work, maybe the most impressive first half for Florida in conference play.
Yeah, the team effort's been outstanding. Here they go. I like the way they're playing defense.
It's about a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
I know Rick Barnes, I'll tell you one thing, he's not going to be satisfied with the effort he got today thus far in that first half. He's too much of a winner and competitor. Been there all his life.
Right Gators got a chance. Breakdown on defense and an easy layup for Florida.
I'll tell you one thing. Scoring 38 and a half is unbelievable against this team. Only giving up 57 points a game. Incredible. Look at this.
22 points in the paint against the Tennessee team that we touted as the best defensive team in the conference and top 3 in the country. Tennessee and all the talk about their defense, well, it was Florida's defense doing a job tonight. Tennessee shooting 25% from 3, 28% from the field. And the Gators, you said it, Dickie, they needed a big game from number 5, and so far, Omar Payne's delivered.
Yeah, he really has. 8.7 rebounds. He's been a factor on the inside. He's helped them big time off the glass, offensive rebound, little screen, little roll inside. There he is with the finish, the jam. Good 2-man game right there. Nice little pass to the interior. Little breakdown defensively by the Vols on the interior. Getting a lot of wide open looks. You see the real high rise in here and a little diagonal pass. Did really outstanding job. You know, one area, as you look at Mike White, he wanted the guys, he said they weren't tough at right times against Mississippi State. We got to be a lot tougher. And I don't really mean rebounded with the bigs. He said, it's not just bigs and bigs. We got to get our guards to rebound a little, block out, and do all the necessary things that are important. I'll tell you something else with Tennessee, which has been impressive all year. They don't turn the ball over. I mean, they're like right now one of the tops in the nation. Up there, Villanova's number 1, but they're right there. They only got in this first half 5 turnovers, but it was their defense, which is their staple, which is what makes them. They're defined by their defense. Their defense really broke down in that first half on a number of occasions.
Florida shot almost 50%. They were 17 of 35, shot 49%. Good sign for Tennessee is that guy, Santiago Vescovi, is back on the floor. He was dealing with what appeared to be a left hip issue. Fulkerson goes to the hole. He misses that first shot, and DeRuggi rebounds. Bounce pass and a bad one, and Vescovi picks up the steal. That's the 8th turnover for Florida, and an easy flush on the other end for Tennessee. Keon Johnson got up high.
Well, Johnson's quite an athlete. Showed that athletic ability right there. James and Fulkerson each had 8 points in that first half, so they contributed.
Johnson, the block on Trey Mann. So, Dick, you know you got to believe that there's going to be more of this from Tennessee. Florida's going to withstand or try to withstand a punch from Tennessee, right?
Well, you can't allow him to get those easy layups like you're right there. Nobody rotated over to play him at all. He just exploded right to the basket. He's a good, tough defensive kid as well.
Yeah, he leads the team. He's got 5 charges drawn. Inside, Fulkerson with the hold. Fulkerson's got 8 points. He's also now got 2 fouls. Another guy that had a really good first half, Appleby, with those 4 assists. With Mann in foul trouble, he had 2. Appleby's really played well the last couple of games for Mike White.
He's a transfer from Cleveland State. Did a great job. He played there.
Niles Lane left open. That's way off. Vescovi, the defensive rebound.
Guys like Niles Lane getting plenty of time, getting chances to show themselves right here.
Keon Johnson, after the stuff, he knocks down the jumper.
Here come the Miles, baby. Here come the Miles. You can feel it. Hey, they got a 20-point plus margin on people they played all year. I mean, come on. That's one of the best in the country.
Man, Banks too strong, picks up the rebound and gets it to go. It's a big bucket for Florida here early in the second half.
Yeah, real big basket. Nobody blocked out. One of the lost arts in college basketball is finding a guy and putting his body on him. I got Alfonso Ellis to put bodies on people, I'll tell you that. He was some rebounder, but he wore that Golden Dome uniform. Oh, nice fake.
Open 3, James no good. Battle, Fulkerson had it ripped away by Omar Payne. Appleby, kick, Locke, 3, no good.
That's a shot you'd want too, because Locke can really shoot the 3 as well as Boast.
Bad turnover. Look at Rick Barnes in the upper part of your screen. Hands out. What are we doing with that pass?
They're struggling right now. They can't seem to get a run, like 3, 4, 5 minute run, a spurt. Got to credit Florida for that. Florida really playing a solid basketball game. Much better than when you and I saw them against Kentucky.
That's going to be on Yves Pons.
Tennessee foul on number 35, Yves Pons, his 3rd.
Tell you what, Dickie, you run into Yves Pons, you run into a wall.
Yeah, very strong. Kid's a good defensive player, as we pointed out. You know, most NCAA trips without making the Final Four, BYU 29, Xavier 28, Missouri 27, and Tennessee the Vols 22. Way before your time, man. I remember the Bernie Ernie show. Ray Mears and company with the Orange Jacket, his assistant Stu Aberdeen. Oh, man, that place in Knoxville was absolutely bananas for those guys.
Great move, and Appleby with a pretty pass and an easy layup for Florida. Niles Lane. Appleby's playing terrific.
Yeah, he did a great job with penetration right there, Ravi. Great job penetrating, getting help, and then finding the open man. A guy like Niles get a nice pass right there. Good look, good poise. Good score by Fulkerson on the interior. I really believe if he comes back to school and just concentrate, get somebody to work with him, shoot a jump shot, he has a chance to play. Right now, he's got no chance to play the NBA because his game is very limited.
Appleby, tough shot. And an easy rebound for Pons. Probably not the shot Mike White wanted at that point.
Got to take quality shots when you're trying to pull that upset. This certainly would be an upset, playing without their key players.
Pons made it 3 in the first half. This time he bodies up and comes up short. Rebound to Trey Mann.
Fine lock
that time
for 3.
Appleby's open. That was better, wide open shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot. right there's the good Mike White. He's got him fired up. Remember, they beat LSU. This would be a quality win, man. You talk about a big-time win, beating the number 6 team in America, but it's a long way from being over. Trust me, a long way.
Bonzo Ellis, he talked about it at the half, trying to get the ball to Fulkerson down low. You have a height advantage underneath, and on the floor, that's a charge.
Up in the air, defense standing there. No question about that. You know, the Gators set the tempo right out of the gate, Carl. They came out with purpose. They came out focused. They came out playing with intensity and emotion. You can't stress enough how much that can do for an athlete when you play with feeling and passion and pride. Tell you one thing I miss. Right now, if we were there and they had a crowd, the rowdy reptiles would be going crazy. I'd be egging them on even a little bit more, getting them a little more wacky. I miss that part, being in a crowd with all the kids and having a blast at the games. But this at least beats the alternative of not having games.
I agree with you there, that's for sure. There are some fans in the stands giving away some T-shirts tonight on the Gainesville campus. Jason Jatobo is coming to the game. The other part for Mike White's got to be pleased. Anybody that he's called has made a contribution tonight. Wide open layup, Locke. He's fouled by Vescovi, and Florida up by 14.
I don't see that Doberman defense. I do not see people rotating over, giving help in Tennessee. I mean, he went right to the goal for an open layup. Wow. Look at Appleby with the great penetration. Niles is the recipient of that. And then he says, you know what? I can pass it, but I can shoot the rock too. Nothing but nala, Mr. Appleby. Give me an apple turnover. And there, look at it drive down the lane, lay it up with the left hand. Where is that Tennessee D? Battling Cancer. There's 2 of my books of Lost Season and the Mount Rushmores, the best coaches, players, my 40 years at ESPN Plus. And the Lost Season was last year all about, the fact that we didn't have a tournament. Just go to dickvital.com and you can get an autographed copy at dickvital.com. The same, you can get a ticket right there, a raffle for winning a beautiful white, unbelievable Mercedes, a BMW convertible. We raffled off 2 Mercedes already, sold all 1,500 chances, and we only have, as of tonight, 140 chances left on that BMW. Carl, you look great in that BMW for your birthday. 56 years old.
It is my birthday.
Well, I get Rob Lemley, our producer, back in the studio. Maybe he can win it. We spent $100.
Well, Bailey comes out, misses a 3 after Locke completed his 3-point play with the free throw. And it's a 15-point Gator lead. That ball is out of bounds, and it's to Florida.
I'll tell you one thing, you're starting to see more and more of a chance of this upset being real because of the unbelievable confidence they're playing with offensively against the defense of Tennessee. I thought the defense of Tennessee was going to be suffocating you tonight. I thought that would be a difference maker, especially when I heard they're playing without Castleton to join Scotty Lewis, and we knew obviously Keontae wasn't going to play, but really, and they missed Tennessee, missed Springer, because I heard great things about Springer's potential.
Great athlete, man, step back, that's too strong. Ball loose, won again by the Gators. Quez Glover knocks it down. Another offensive rebound for the Gators.
The 3-ball coming up big right now for the Gators too. Wide open looks. Tennessee team struggling right here. Their only losses to Alabama, lost to Alabama at home. Alabama's been so impressive this year. I want you right now working on glass, keeps the ball alive, and gets to an open 3, and it is wide open like a practice situation. Makes it count.
Florida 32 rebounds, Tennessee 19, and 14 of those 32 were on the offensive end. You think Tennessee would be out-physicaled, out-tough, and so far tonight they are. Vescovi, and maybe that hip is still bothering him. He misses a wide-open 3.
Not shooting well either. Vols right now. This is a struggle here tonight. Right out of the gate, they've been struggling, Tennessee.
Jatobo using all of that big body of his, throws it up, no good.
Jatobo really got himself a good shot right there by using that body so well. Carl, you're excellent making that point you did right there.
Another turnover.
And that's something they don't do. That's something they
takes
don't
it
do.
right in front of Fulkerson.
Wow. Can we believe this right now? 20-point deficit. Come on now. I have to tell you right now, Carl, I got to be honest with the people. You and I talked before the game, and we said that we have all our material. We talk about Tom Brady, talk about all the little things in baseball going on. But you know what? We don't need any of that because we got one heck of a possible upset here. There's that turnover. Tennessee is right now 6th in the nation in turnovers. They turn over 7 times a game. But the best is 9 times a game, rather. The best is Villanova at 7.4. And they're also 3rd in turnover margin, assist to turnover, where they got a plus 7.4. And defense, and we talked about scoring defense, giving up 57.2 a game. They've given up 53, and there's 14 minutes left on the clock. I think, Carl, if you and I were on the floor right now, we could get to that margin of 57.
Probably going to get over it, no question. No question.
We get LaFont, so the
offensive
will get
foul.
over it.
They're going to call Derugi. He was moving, and some frustration on that Florida sideline. You know,
They
Dick,
got to keep that.
I was going to say, by about now, we've usually played 18, 19 games by now. We know how good the Baylors and the Gonzagas of the world are. Do you think the rankings currently are wholly accurate given where we're at?
Well, not totally accurate, but you got a pretty good sense out there who's good and who's not. I mean, really, I think the COVID has certainly messed things up. I mean, Tennessee was hit bad with COVID. Florida had their share with COVID. I mean, Rick Pitino right now, they're in their 3rd pause, and that's 35 days they've missed the practice. 35 days. I mean,
crazy.
Come on. It's crazy. Florida State's had their problems. Clemson had their problems. They came back from a COVID pause situation. They got really ripped big time by Virginia.
Frank Martin, South Carolina, dealing with a lot of it.
It's tough, so you got to overcome it. It's a tough year. And the strong will survive. But you mentioned most explosive team, best offensive team in basketball is Gonzaga, and the best defensive team in America is Baylor. Just ask Kansas and ask anybody else that's played against them, because I'm telling you, they defend.
Good help that time. How about Omar Payne? He realized there was a mismatch. Fulkerson rolled. He was there to block it. The battle underneath, that's off Tennessee. It's Florida basketball. Frustration for the Vols.
I'll tell you one thing, the Vols, they got a kid I mentioned earlier, Kennedy Chandler, coming in. You should see this kid. He's the best point guard in America, Carl, and he's going to wear a volunteer uniform. He's out of Memphis. He's been starring on ESPN. Paul Biancardi raves about him. Says what a special impact player he's going to be in a Tennessee uniform.
They're going to get Omar Payne for a 3-second violation.
See, now if you're Mike White, you got to maintain that intensity that they've been playing with. They can't get a little relaxed because they don't want this to get down. And if you're Rick Barnes, you're hoping you can get this in the single digits by, let's say, the 8-minute mark, and then anything can happen.
3 straight turnovers for Florida. They had been very efficient up until that point. Good jump down. Johnson missed it, but he got fouled. Really good play for Tennessee.
Yeah, Keon Johnson had himself a layup there. It was good ball movement, good execution, well drilled. You can see they've been working on that pattern, a little high-low action.
And again, if you're just joining us, let's just reset for a second. Florida is playing without Keontae Johnson. He's been now thrust into the role of coacher, assistant, a helper. There's no Scotty Lewis tonight. You see Keontae there. And they are without Colin Castleton, who has been their best scorer. So 3 key pieces for Florida not playing. Tennessee is without Jaden Springer, one of their offensive superstar freshmen.
You know, you mentioned Castleton. Not only is he a scorer for them, he's a guy to block shots. You said earlier,
Yes.
and 14 blocked shots in the last 2 games. So plus he gives you that great size at 6'11". And that's a big loss.
Trey Mann dribbles around. Good pass.
What a nice look.
Wide open.
Look, Castleman right there cheering. He loves it, man. And wow. Come on, Mr. Castleman. You're a cheerleader now.
You made that point, though, Dickie. A lot of holes. There's another one. It looked like Appleby fell down, which allowed James, but a lot of holes in the Tennessee interior defense tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of wide open looks on the interior. Incredible. It's just surprising to me because everybody just has been raving about Tennessee on the defensive end.
Lock, floater, no good. Jatobo went up for it. Fulkerson rips it away.
The other thing that Florida's done a really good job, Ravi, is defensive transition. How many layups have we seen by Tennessee? Not many.
Fulkerson, there's one.
Well, a driving layup, but I'm talking about transition, fast break layups. We haven't seen many. I mean, Fulkerson's going to score around the basket. That's his strength.
Lead 13. Fulkerson, he's in double digits. He's got 12. Can the Gators hang on? They have found the open man underneath. Jatobo, wide open. And are we looking at an upset? Florida, 13-point lead, 11 and a half to go. A knockout, according to McGregor's coach right now. His coach, McGregor's in the best shape he's ever seen him in his life.
So that means another TKO. Wow.
That's certainly what his coach is hoping for on Fight Island. Join us Saturday. Here's a steal. Vescovi got his hand in there. Florida's got to be careful. Keon Johnson, that's a big turnover.
Putting the ball back out for a good shot. Tennessee's got to get some easy baskets, off steals at the transition, some offensive rebounds. They're going to get some easy layups. Everything's been tough for them thus far.
Niles Lane working on Vescovi. He's got a height advantage. Got a hand in there. Good job, Anasicki. EJ Anasicki got his hand in there for the tie-up. Welcome back. 55-42, 10:46 to go. Florida looking for an upset over the Vols. This is the SEC on ESPN. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounds for Florida. The Gators have been outstanding. They're kind of out-Tennesseeing Tennessee tonight. Their balanced scoring has been a big story tonight, Dickie V.
Yeah, they got a basket like 5 guys with 8 points or more. They're really sharing the ball. And I think getting the good shots. They really are taking quality shots here and getting a lot around the basket, which really surprises me against the so-called suffocating defense of Tennessee, which we have not seen thus far tonight.
Another mistake here for the Gators. Another turnover on the inbounds pass.
You know, last time the Gators beat Tennessee was like in 2017. They beat them here in Gainesville. Tennessee's going for the 5th straight over the Gators. Yep. Right now they're minus 13. It's been that way the entire game too. I mean, it's not just been spurts here and there. They've been controlling the game right from the get-go.
You can tell too, Vescovi, that left hip of his, which he was working on for most of the first half, is compromised a little bit, and he's just not moving the way that he's usually able to move. You can even see him now gimping back a little. Did it lead to a layup for the Gators? That ball was pinned, so it doesn't, as Pons was back there.
Yeah, Pons did a great job defensively because it looked like they had a transition layup out of that situation. They got to find some offense. The Gators, I don't think we're singing their praises enough about how well they've played defense. You get a rotation help right there. I love to see kids when they rotate. The ball is the most dangerous thing on the floor. You got to rotate to that basketball. Many teams do not do that and do that well.
Appleby thought he had a steal. Vescovi having to play through the pain. There is no Jaden Springer available tonight.
I was really looking forward to seeing him because I heard so many great things. Rick was talking about him and just what a great athlete, the future that he possesses. Like I said earlier, his dad was special down there in Iona. This game's not over, people. I can tell you that right now. You just feel, you keep waiting for a Rick Barnes team here to go on a little bit of a spurt. You just keep waiting because you look at all their numbers, and we're not seeing all those numbers here tonight.
Yeah, where will it come from? Fulkerson having a decent game. He's 5 of 8. But Bailey has missed 10 shots. He's 1 of 11. Vescovi's going to get a rest. We'll see if he goes and tries to stretch out that left hip of his. JoJo James, 2 of 8. As Trey Mann works one-on-one against a good defender in James. There's a steal.
Turnover.
Anaseki's made some big contributions tonight in his play off the bench.
I take advantage of that right now. You get your turnover, you got to convert it. Got to score.
Pond dumped it into Fulkerson. And they're going to get a foul on Fulkerson, a charge. And for John Fulkerson, that's foul number 3.
Tennessee foul number 10, John Fulkerson.
Ball went in the post. I think he might have made contact with his shoulder. I did not see that. Let's see right here. Here we go. No, there's the cut. They're probably thinking he's a flop. He's a flopping.
It's a pretty good sell job by Appleby. Tennessee on an 11-2 run to get it to 11. DeRuggi at 3, no good, but on the floor, a foul.
Tennessee foul on number 12. Victor Bailey.
They call it on Bailey.
Make their foul shots now, the Gators. Like really be in great shape. So many times you convert on that free throw line, man. That's a big, big difference maker.
7 fouls for Tennessee at the 9-minute mark, so Florida will be shooting a lot of free throws here.
You know, you look at Tennessee, okay? I mentioned earlier, we look at their stats. Little hug here on the sideline. You know, beat Colorado, a very good team. Colorado is very good out there in the Pac-12. Cincinnati struggling this year, but still Cincinnati. Beat Missouri by 20. Beat Arkansas. I mean, they've had some good wins. They had that loss to Alabama, and Alabama is way better than many projected before the season. Nate Oates has got them playing really terrific basketball. Utilizing the personnel really well, spreading the court, driving the ball. I mean, and like you mentioned earlier, Jones has been terrific all year for Bama.
Nate Oates has a really good team with a great mixture. You keep talking about, and most do, you got to get old if you want to get well, get good. They've got some players. I mean, Petty's been outstanding. Tennessee hasn't given up 20 to any player. Petty was close. They've had a couple of guys with 19, but they're balanced too. There's a lot of threats on a Crimson Tide team. You'll see them at 9 against LSU over on ESPN2. Duke and Pittsburgh follow us with 8:48 to go. Anaecki rolls, lays it up, misses, still battles, and man comes away with it.
Got to make that layup right there, Carl. When they cut it down to 10, there's a simple layup on the inside with a good pass. That really is not the way you get back in the game, missing those kind of shots around the basket.
Man, floater got it. Tennessee is shooting 33%. Florida's near 50. Good steal, good hands. Appleby.
They used the backboard. It was blew that layup, baby. Got it to go.
They got a 16-point lead, though. 8 minutes to go. The quick hands again. Another turnover.
Wow. This is one that Rick Barnes is not going to enjoy looking at the video and film of this game. Applebee's keeps playing like this. He's going to own Applebee's. He's going to own Applebee's.
DeRuggi. Oh, he knocks down a 3. It's a 19-point lead for the Gators.
And a TO, baby. And a TO, baby. Mr. Barnes gets a TO. And they love it. The cheerleaders love it. Where's the Rowdy Reptiles?
How about a 19-point Florida Gator lead over the number 6 team in the country, Tennessee. And again, Florida is just doing to Tennessee what the Vols have done to 10 teams this year. Tennessee shoots 33%. They're getting out-rebounded big time. The turnovers are about even. Offensive glass work, 14 for the Gators, 12 for the Volunteers, and the absentee players are big. That's a block by Omar Payne. Dick, you nailed it, man. He has been great tonight.
Well, you know, the one thing about the Gators that's been consistent is they block shots all year long. They rank up there with 6 block shots per game, and right there's the block. Castleton, they miss, but look at Payne. Payne's really, he has stepped up big time today, knowing that Castleton's not playing. And he did that when they beat the last ranked team they beat was, as I said earlier, was Auburn. They were number 4 in the nation. Came in here last year, and Payne had a big game, 19 and 11.
9 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks.
Yeah, he's been a president on the interior, which we thought was going to be a negative for them against Pons and against Fulkerson.
Vescovi back on the floor for the Volunteers. They need stops. Noah Locke, free throw line got hit, so he'll go and shoot free throws.
And he's like really a great shooter. I mean, this right now, I don't know, unless you see a change, I haven't seen a change at all. It has been consistent from the opening tip that the Gators have been in control and command of this game.
I know that you have been told by a lot of the folks that know Tennessee that this team may be, because of their defense, as good as that Bone, Bowden, Alexander, Williams, Schofield team. I don't see that.
I don't believe it. I don't see it at all. Grant Williams was a dominant player. Schofield was as tough as could be. Bone, Bowden, that club was special. Alexander. Now, I like that club in 2018 because of their offensive efficiency. They were a little better offensively. This team came in, I expected to see a heck of a lot better defense. And, you know, I'm not going to say these kids don't play defense. Obviously, that's ridiculous. They do play defense. We just happen to catch them on a where they're not playing. Well, look at this here. Simple turnover.
The ball bounces the Gators' way. Trey Mann lays it up and another turnover, 15 for the Vols.
Coming up with the loose ball. Unbelievable. That's another thing.
You said they were going to have to score at least 65 to get a win tonight. Johnson will go to the free throw line. They're sitting at 66 with 6:40 to go.
You know, I've been down on Twitter. People follow me on Twitter / Nicky V and see all these things. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, have a lot of fun there. Get a chance. You know, 99% of the people are really good. Then there's a percentage that just wipe out because no matter what you do, they're going to criticize and rip and complain and moan and groan.
Noise. It's just noise, Dick. You can just block that noise out. Pons misses a fairly easy shot.
Nice drive. It's all
there, and Appleby does it again.
I don't think you see the comeback tonight, Mr. Gravich, unless you know something I don't know. I really think this Florida team has earned this W. They came out here to play with a little chip on their shoulder, missing key players, and show it again for young people out there. Play hard, play together, and a lot of good things could happen.
Vescovi, he can't get the three, and that's the toughness of the Gators tonight. Just ripped away from Yves Pons by DeRuggi.
And Mike Blake said we didn't have that toughness against Mississippi State. They out-toughed us.
Anthony DeRuggi made 1 3. He's 8 of 25, so it's rare that he makes them, and now 8 of 26.
He was too open right there. He got a little nervous. Too open.
There's just a hesitancy about Tennessee to shoot the basketball. There's some more help coming over, and Vescovi nearly lost it. Fulkerson gets the bucket and the foul.
You know, Fulkerson scored inside like he's supposed to do. That's what he does and does well around the basket. Their defense really let them down today. We can talk about the offense. Their defense really let them down. And you have that defense, they talk about it all the time, about the fact that, you know, we're going to come after you, we're going to play hard, we're going to play together. We haven't seen that BDD, ball hawking Doberman defense. We have not seen it. And they got that originally from a guy named Bob Kloppenberg. Bob was a veteran coach in college, the NBA, 93 years of age, God bless him. He's still with us, and he came out with a lot of philosophies on defense. He used to call it the SOS, sequential, ongoing strategies. I mean, you start throwing the word sequential, you lose me, crowd. You take me out of my element.
Yeah, SOS is a call for help or same old stuff.
But they changed it to BDD. But Coach Schwartz has really adopted their defensive philosophy. But we have not seen that Doberman defense tonight.
Our buddy Chris Burke, of course, the former great Tennessee Volunteer, watching tonight. He makes the point. Springer wasn't there against Alabama. Springer's not there tonight. He's an X factor for this Tennessee team, even though he's a freshman. Good point by our boy Burke. He's watching the game. Rocky Top is reeling a little bit after what happened yesterday with the football coach. Philip Fulmer steps down.
Unbelievable.
And now this.
President didn't waste any time there, boy. pulled the trigger right away on Pruitt. Pruitt arrived. Everybody thought he was becoming their next superstar coach. And right now they got an investigation going on that the fact that he was part of illegal recruiting, and they wasted no time, as opposed to what we have happening 2017. 2017 was that FBI investigation. Schools really caught on tape the whole bit, and it's already 2021, and there's no solution. It's a joke. The NCAA's got to speed that up. You can't have what's going on. I mean, by the time they get into those cases, coach is going to be retired that are guilty and put away a couple million in the bank. If you can't solve that problem 1 year, there's something wrong. And they're going to address that. Mark Emmett and the NCAA is going to address that issue, because that issue has become a laughing stock, taking years and years to make a decision. And they got these independent committees. They got to reinvestigate. I mean, I feel bad for the enforcement staff. They do a great job trying to find all the information and making all these appeals and all these problems. It's really a joke. Mr. Rabbit, don't get me started on that, because I wanted to say something about my Bucks tonight, so I'm happy.
I was going to ask you. I mean, we have you celebrating after the Rays clinched the American League pennant. You were screaming in front of the TV, waving that flag, and then you're screaming about the Bucks with another win. Same thing, fist pumping. Go Bucks, 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 Bucks. You've had a good run here.
It's been great. What about the Lightning? Don't forget that. They got the big prize. They won it all, that Stanley Cup. Now we got the Bucks. The Rays came so close. They came close, so close. And if they didn't take out Mr. Snell, I think we would have that. Don't tell the Dodger people, they can't hear me in LA, but I think we would have had that World Series. Because Morton would have won Game 7.
This is stunner.
It's just one of those nights. You just chalk this up. A bad night for Tennessee and a great night for the Gators. And Tennessee will be back.
Potentially really great night for Alabama. If they can win, they beat Tennessee. Tennessee will then have a loss here. Alabama puts themselves so comfortably in the SEC driver's seat. Two huge droughts for Tennessee tonight. In the first half, they went almost 5 minutes without scoring. In the second half, they went over 6 minutes without scoring. Their double teaming down low has been a huge part of this.
And they're really doing a great job hustling on the basketball, keeping the ball in front of them, trying to beat guys. Look at the great help right there. Good reverse. They're really helping one another. They're communicating.
24 points off turnovers for the Gators. 24 off their turnovers. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.
Baker from Missouri.
And your boy Gerard, 23 points. Syracuse wins easily. Their second conference win of the season. Oh, D's Tony, 7 double-figure games so far this season. Pitt looking for their first win in the series against Duke in 5 years. Rabbi?
All right, Kevin, thank you very much, my friend. 70-47 here, 3 minutes to go. A huge win for the Gators tonight, assuming no nightmare scenario to end it. I'm tell you what, Dick, we spoke to Mike White earlier today. Oh, there's a huge screen set. Trey Mann is down.
Wow. See, nobody communicated to let the kid know the screen was coming. I mean, you got to let him know that.
This is Kumwa who stood, and Olivier laid it on Trey Mann.
It's a legal screen. I mean, he just stand there as a screen, but nobody lets him know the screen's coming. You got to communicate to your teammate, man. You got to communicate to the kid. That's one of the lost arts too in basketball. Communication.
And then Omar Payne went up to block that shot from Bailey, and Bailey was on the floor for a while. So Mann will walk off.
Florida foul charge to number 5, Omar Payne, his second.
Can't afford to lose him for future games. He looks like he's okay. Walking seems under his own.
At the line for Tennessee,
Will
Bailey Jr. He'll shoot 3 shots.
So we can look at the Springer absence, but Florida's without their best players too. What do you think the message that Rick Barnes is going to deliver is going to be?
Well, the message can be loud and clear. We can't read our press clippings and see our rankings. We got to come to play. And obviously tonight they had 16 turnovers. I told you earlier they're ranked in the top 6 in the nation in not turning the ball over. Villanova's number 1, and they're like number 6 at 9 a game. They got 16 turnovers. Turnovers have led to a lot of points for the Gators. And the Gators also are really beating them where you really get a definition of being aggressive. Beating them on the glass. Anytime you have a team that forces turnovers and plays aggressively on the glass, that means you're playing really tremendous, intense basketball. You're very aggressive. You also can factor in whenever you're blocking shots. It's the same category. Deflections. A lot of schools chart deflections because if you're getting deflections, it means you're aggressive. And Mike White's kids today came out right from the opening tip with a little chip on their shoulder to show we're better than what we've been doing, losing 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah, and the Vescovi injury, which we saw him trying to stretch that left hip in the first half, the speed at point guard, which they've had in years past, and the ability to score with, as we mentioned earlier, Bone and others. I'll tell you who's not going to be an easy out in the SEC because of Sharif Cooper's presence and the way that Bruce Pearl has those Auburn Tigers playing. Auburn is a nightmare right now as a matchup.
Yeah, because Sharif is such a great talent, but they're going to have that in Tennessee next year. You mark my words, I've seen this kid in video. Kennedy Chandler is going to be a major force in the SEC. I mean, there's no way in the world, Carl, we ever thought you'd look at a 73-47 against the number 6 team in America. And it's all because the Florida kids are bought in defensively and sharing the ball and really came out with purpose. Yeah. Pounded paint, the boards, the glass, they've done it all. Passed the ball really well for layups. Incredible. Well, I just hope my Bucks can play like that against the Packers. Hey, by the way, Carl, what's I not to love about Belichick and his coaching success? I've loved him, but I love him even more now than I've ever loved him for not signing Tom Brady, because that's the greatest thing that's ever happened to Tampa Bay football. The guy's winning culture. And one of the great videos was after the game, an hour later, watching Brady and watching the great Drew Brees, as classy as can be, hugging one another, and there's Brady throwing touchdown passes to Brees' sons. It was really great to see. Did you see that at all?
Oh yeah, that's been everywhere, and it was really neat to see them having that moment after the game. It's the Hall of Fame, multi-millionaires club. 2 of the great quarterbacks that we've ever seen. It's a stuns you too. You look at your guy Brady, and he's 43, and Brees is 42. The ability to protect Brady, he could play another 6 years if they just protect him.
He looks like 23. And that's great to see 2 guys compete the way they competed against each other and then show the ultimate respect for one another after the game. Hey, Kevin Nagandi, by the way, I want to give my guy a little shout out. You talk about a classy guy. What he does for us with our gala as the MC is he had a tough act to replace in John Saunders, who was terrific for us. I miss John, miss Stuart Scott, all those guys. But Kevin does a great job. We're going to have another tremendous gala this year. Scott Van Pelt's one of our honored guests. Hope to raise millions. And remember, people go to thinkvital.com, you get books, you get a raffle, get it all, and help us kids battling cancer.
Free throw was missed just to pay off all those points in the paint. 42-22 for Florida tonight. 42-22 without Castleton, their 6'11" guy.
And they were dominated in the paint by Ben Holland's kids. The kid Tulo Smith, I have not seen him play, but he had 27 and 14. And Mike White told me he's an improving player. 6'11". You got to have great guard play. When you have great guard play, you got a chance to win. And that's what makes Baylor so good. They're terrific defensively, but their guard combinations, when you talk about Mitchell, and you certainly talk about Butler. Butler was unbelievable against Kansas last night. In the game I had him against Texas Tech, the kid struggled, except when the big lights came on in the last 4 minutes, he made big plays. But the one thing that impressed me about him, Carl, even when he was struggling, missing shots, he's diving on the floor, he's playing defense, and they're the best defensive team in America. And then you look at the best offensive team, you're looking at the Zags.
Yeah, the Zags are a well-oiled machine. But you mentioned the guards. Like tonight, Appleby, Locke, they outplayed the guards of Tennessee. Appleby was terrific.
Absolutely.
13 points, 7 assists. Locke had 14 points.
I thought they did a great job defensively as well, the guards of the Gators.
His first 9th team foul.
And Florida may, they go to Georgia. That's their next game this weekend. Maybe get on a little run here. See if you can carry this momentum over. They're going to get Scotty Lewis back. I asked about Keontae Johnson. There's been no declaration that he's ruled out for this season. The Gators did suggest that in the next, couple of days there will be some comment about Keontae and his future this season and perhaps long term with regards to playing. Coach White said he's become a real asset on the coaching side. Clearly not what he wants. Clearly not what Coach White wants. But they let him run some of the things. He's come up with plays. He's certainly respected. He's not afraid to tell a player when they're doing something wrong, complimenting them when they do something right.
That was certainly a scary moment in college basketball. It's so beautiful to see him standing there and laced, because that was really as scary as can be.
Duke in Pittsburgh underway, and we'll get you there ASAP. SEC fans, ESPN2's got LSU and Alabama in what should be a really good game. They say it a lot this year. Should be a really good game. It turns out not to be a really good game. Let's hope it delivers tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, with Pittsburgh and certainly Duke, you got the mentor and the absolute pupil going head-to-head. And one thing, Pittsburgh's only lost 2 games. They lost an opening game to St. Francis out of Loretto, PA. And then since then, they've really played great basketball. And now they got their star back, Kid Champagne, who's a really big-time scorer, rebounder.
Florida foul on number 44 now is playing his first.
You know who else's birthday it is today, Dickie V? Do you know who else shares a January 19th birthday?
Dolly Parton.
That's
Dolly
right.
Parton. Dolly. Yes, sir. I saw her name in the paper. I didn't see your name with all the celebrity superstars. I saw Dolly's name.
I deferred. I said, please, let Dolly have it. Let Jeff Van Gundy have it. Let Edgar Allan Poe have January 19th as their day. I'm fine. I just want to do a basketball game with Dickie Vitale. And I succeeded.
I met Dolly Parton one time. It was really hilarious. Tell you the truth. Had a blast.
Well, Dickie, I had a blast. Thanks for sharing the birthday. Florida with a stunning win tonight over the Vols, 75-49. They dominated from the get-go. Great to have Derek Mobley back as our director, Scott Matthews, and for our entire crew getting it done tonight, I'm Carl Ravitch. Again, the Gators, a huge win, 75-49. Here's Dan Schulman and John Crispin.